Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game number 1 of a best of 1, a bit of Terran up against Protoss. I know who one of them is and it's spawning, they are spawning in the top right hand position as the blue Terran player representing Team My Insanity. It's Jjakji. And his opponent down in the bottom left, the red Protoss. It's a Barcode. So, shall I name this Barcode player? Just a mythical name. James. James the Protoss player. Or Peter the Protoss. Peter Protoss. Peter Protoss. Pictor. Zerg Cocoon. No, it doesn't even work. Anyway, this game should be pretty cool. I haven't cast a TvP for a while. And it's gonna be exciting, I reckon. Derelict Watcher is the map that will host it, of course. This map dead and gone from the map pool now. Bad times. I'm sad whenever maps leave map pools. Only because in some areas of life, I love change. I love new balance patches. They make me happy. I absolutely love new technology and new cool websites or whatever else. But when maps leave the map pool, I get this uneasy feeling. Because I know cool things on maps. Like I know these engines point the wrong way. But what I don't know is when a new map comes out, what those cool things are. And it's worrying. But then after a week or so, I adapt and I'm like, yay! How could we ever play on other maps? These ones are so awesome. So basically, I'm like a bit of a hyperactive kid. I'm like a puppy, actually. Where everything is the new greatest thing once I'm used to it. Anyway, CC first coming down from Jjakji. Playing it economical. Who can blame him? It's a safe way to play. Well, it's not a safe way to play, but it's a good way to play. Playing safe's never too fun. Meanwhile, over on the Protoss side, Gateway and Gases. So, very standard. Cybernetics core should be following this up, and then we'll go boom, straight into a normal gateway expand, I suspect. And the reason I suspect that is because 2 probes are in each gas, not 3. If there was 3 in each, I'd be like, oh my goodness, it's gonna be something tech heavy. Meanwhile though, Jjakji, so safe. So safe. 2 additional barracks. This means that he can pump out enough Marines that should there have been some kind of rush towards a Stargate and an Oracle coming across, he would be able to muster enough Marines to defend it. That's always good. He'll also be able to defend against early pressure with the aid of a bunker. And of course, early pressure can't be ruled out as of yet from the Protoss side, since we don't really know what the Protoss players are doing yet, other than getting a Nexus. Of course, still only 2 probes in each gas, a mothership core likely to get started up once that 150 minerals and a sufficient amount of gas. Sorry, and a sufficient amount of 100. I said 150, didn't I? God, it's 100. Anyway, yeah, this is all going good. Both sides really looking quite happy. Jjakji should be considering starting up gas soon. Ooh, very interesting. Getting a 3rd barracks. That is a bit more unusual, getting a 3rd racks out so early. Especially without the gas, because while you do get a good number of Marines and you are quite safe, you do get behind in tech, and that's not always ideal. Unless Jjakji has some kind of sneaky plan planned. Checking for proxy Stargates, always a safe move to make. There comes down the gas. Gonna go double gas because he's really got to at this point. If you've gone 3 barracks, you've got to get 2 gases down in order to catch up. And yeah, Stargate is on its way, but Jjakji's going to have plenty of Marines to defend that. Know where he's keeping them as well, just on this ramp. That means if gateway units come pushing up, he can come down. If an Oracle comes flying in, he can get back a bit quicker. He's defending both bases effectively. Jjakji still milling about with this little SCV, trying to keep a good eye. I know he went to the watchtower first to see anything that he may want to spot. Feeling quite confident at the moment that there isn't anything too scary on its way, but long forward it still continues on its mighty adventure. Gonna go and scout. Unfortunately, could die. Mothership core and a Stalker sitting there. Won't see the Stargate either, as that's hidden. Now, is it gonna be an Oracle? Yep, of course it will. Oracle's absolutely fantastic. SCV trying to his utmost, but died in a horrifically painful way, where he literally exploded and flew a couple of 100 feet in StarCraft scale. So, that was unfortunate for the SCV. But engineering base coming down. Life goes on back on Terran base. Stim getting researched. Scan being used, and boom, hello Stargate. I see you. Oracle flying straight through, not even shy. And that means Marines get pulled back, and really this is now a very safe spot. Marines, 6 at the main, 6 at the natural. Enough to defend against Oracles, and more still being pumped through. +1 on its way as well, but that Oracle unlikely to do any damage realistically. Especially since there's now more Marines coming through too. They're just sitting around making sure that they're in a safe spot anywhere. This Oracle should be controlled well. I'm hoping it will. This is really high level play, so should see the Marines and play things very carefully and just backs up. Keeping it alive is critical. While it doesn't do any damage now, a dead Oracle deals 0 damage for the rest of this game. An alive Oracle may be able to come in and poke and deal a little bit of damage later. Always the chance. Jjakji, with the +1 coming down, is going to be facing off against some Colossus very quickly from the Protoss player as that robotics bay gets started. The gateway count low, only a single one, and the Oracle gets caught out by a couple of Marines, gets knocked very low on HP, 46, very painful to watch. Of course, Jjakji still just going steady, hasn't lost anything but that one SCV, and is just powering down his upgrades, powering down his tech, starport on its way, combat shield on its way, medevacs get started, so Marines once again find that Oracle, but it just manages to survive, 23 HP. Back at home, or back at the Protoss base, Forges, robotics base, or chilling. First Colossus probably going to get started very shortly. Very little in the way of ground units. Risky play by really both, I should say, because while there is a good number of Marines, both have gone for very greedy builds. With greedy builds though, comes potentially great rewards. That's what you've got to remember. Anytime you take a risk, you're aiming to get ahead in some way, and if you can make that work, you tend to win the game. When you both take risks, it really comes down to who took the better risk, who gets the better army composition, and the better engagements. And Jjakji, just playing cautiously until he gets this kind of devastating force, the 2 medevac timing. Doesn't matter when those 2 medevacs come out, that's the timing you move out. You're like, 2 medevacs, go. This is the earliest I could try and hurt you significantly. Unfortunately, these Marines are granting vision for the Protoss. Traitorous Marines. Unfortunately, only a little bit around themselves, so don't show too much. The medevac's not yet revealed, but of course this is still frustrating. Oracle may try and go in, but there weren't actually any missiles. One missile side of the natural, but none in the main, so the main base is vulnerable. Oracle's still poking and prodding around, but this is a decent number of Marines. The first Colossus not yet out. It's only 43 seconds through production. And, oh sorry, the first Colossus is out. That's the second one coming through in production. But still, the Marines able to get a couple of kills. Unfortunately, backing out as Photon Overcharge is triggered. And well, Thermal Lance nearly done. No Marauders. What is it? Literally insta-cast the curse right now. 2 Marauders aren't enough though to scare away these Colossi, even since they are on equal range. What Jjakji needs at the moment is to start thinking about getting a 3rd base down, unless he's got a plan to end the game quickly. And he very well may, but great little move there by that Oracle. Gets down a spectacular Revelation. Revealing for 60 seconds, of course, but it does use 75 energy, so that's not something that you really want coming down. So, no damage from that Oracle, but already it's paid for itself just by granting this vision. The important thing is that the Protoss player is now fully aware of if Jjakji comes to move up. Nice little snipe on that pylon, won't depower anything, but does supply block, which is definitely very effective. Jjakji though pumping so much stuff, got a couple of Vikings coming into the mix too, but his medevac count's so low. Only 4 medevacs at the moment. He's producing more Vikings all the time, and that means that his infantry can't get healed up too easily. What may be attempted though is a bit of the old trickery. Big drop into the main, infantry push up into the natural, killing 1 base for sure, or at least a lot of probes. But it also splits your army up, makes things very dangerous for you. Can Jjakji pull it off? If anyone can, it will be him. But for the moment, this Protoss player staying around the natural ramp, defending both bases and keeping it safe. The Oracle once again, with this sensationally good Revelation, is able to keep a good tab on this Terran force. So, the important thing is the medevacs get caught as well. There's a cool little tip. If only your infantry gets caught, put them in a medevac, and then you're suddenly hidden again. Oh, but nice move forward here, but does the Protoss player overcommit? Jjakji with a good attack arc, preventing the escape. Jjakji taking this opportunity, demolishes 2 of those Colossi. Vikings finish off the 3rd. The infantry on the ground, dealing with the gateway units so well. Jjakji's forces are getting a bit lower, but a lot of reinforcements coming across the map. That may have been an overstep by the Protoss, losing all of the splash damage. And as such, basically opening everything up to this infantry. The Vikings landed, adding a bit more DPS, while Photon Overcharge is trying to work away with so little in the way of infantry, or so little in the way of gateway units. Jjakji, with his reinforcements, should feel quite confident pushing in. This Nexus taking a hideous amount of damage. Another Colossus about to pop, but with the Nexus falling, it may all be too late. Rogue's dying. This is very bad times, and GG is called, and Jjakji is successful in that game. One little overextension from the Protoss player allowed Jjakji to get such a great attack arc. Even though the upgrades were equal, the economies were equal, the tech was equal, just that positioning allowing Jjakji to take the game. So, if you enjoyed that cast, please like the video, leave a cool comment, let me know what your highlight of that game was, and of course subscribe. I get new games out daily, so I'll catch you all tomorrow for yet another new cast. Thanks for watching, I'm Madals, bye for now.